2, 3.
Has Amazon totally forgotten the sellers that put them in business, that created that flywheel network, the wholesalers, the resellers, the arbitragers, the people that made selection available? We're going to talk about that. And there's some new updates. I've talked to the Amazon employees myself, asked them some of those questions. So then also, I'm going to start out talking about 3P, 1P, and all that jazz. So this channel, Smartest Amazon Sellers, is all for experienced Amazon sellers that really want to learn how to do better and, keep on the cutting edge. As that's what I spend a lot of my time doing, networking with some of the smartest and brightest minds. I dig in the data. I still have a seller account. And yeah, I wish I was selling more on Amazon. So, I want to talk about the history of 1P versus 3P. I think, 8 years ago, for the first time I heard that, before marketing agencies Amazon agencies were as big as they are now, this idea of moving 1P brands to 3P. And, or hybrid solutions where large 1P brands could have some of their catalog on 3P. And it has felt like year after year, I've heard this drum beat that 1P, you got to move over to 3P because you have more control. You can advertise. You don't have to be dependent on a vendor manager who may or may not order things. It just doesn't feel like you have your foot on the gas or you're totally control. So everyone's been always trying to move over to 3P. But sometimes I've come across products and brands, one product in particular, a potted plant where the FBA fee was $30, but it was selling on Amazon 1P for $25. I was like, this was just simply not possible in the FBA model that most of us know. So that's the thing. It's sometimes things happen on 1P that just can't happen. And so for some product mixes, actually 1P is just going to do better because they don't charge themselves the same FBA fee. So I'm just kind of here to shatter that narrative that it's actually a more nuanced conversation. You will still see people shouting from the rooftops, go over to 3P, it's way better. That's because they might be speaking to their own bag because maybe they have a business that helps third-party sellers. So you'll see, that's totally how content marketing works. I see that all the time. I probably see that 2 or 3 times a month, someone giving some big diatribe on that. And it's just more nuance than that. I'm going to actually elaborate and really dig into why. Because I know an outfit right now, they're a little bit, they're stealth, but they're coming out soon, where they are bringing 3P brands over to 1P and saving them a shiz ton of money. We're talking, 10 to 15% margin off the top. They make more money on their transactions by moving over to 1P. Again, it's category specific and it depends on a few things. They have an existing vendor account relationship where they are doing this and only targeted brands would make it. But just the fact that service is existing and pushing is kind of actually creating this evolving door model of what's actually better, 1P or 3P. And I just think it's more complicated than that. And there's some really sharp people on the 1P side that they know it's a nuanced conversation. And if you are one of those premium top tier brands, if you are Adidas or I don't know, if you're Procter & Gamble, they're not going to let you move to 3P. Amazon can't just shut that down. They do. They flex those muscles. And so worth considering and just knowing. So I don't like people giving a simple take. I probably haven't even scratched every part of it, but just wanted to give that backstory because this conversation that I'm having is actually really awesome to see this company come to market. So if you do want an intro, if you have a brand that you think, hey, let's see if this is worth kicking in the can. I think they have, minimums of a few $1 million in revenue on Amazon to make it worth it to move you over to 1P. Oh yeah, there's another thing about 1P. Amazon buys your inventory up front. you don't have to carry inventory. So say goodbye to, inventory leakage. If it gets damaged, it's on them. They bought it. So it's kind of nice to have that cash up front. And there is a reimbursement play, like the reimbursement services for 3P. It's a little bit different for 1P. They are around, they exist. And so all the things that you should factor into that. Okay, now I kind of buried the lead. I think this is super interesting. I spoke with some Amazon employees that work for these strategic account services. That's where they, traditionally for the last 5 years, I think you had to pay, up to I think it maxes out at $5,000 a month to have an account manager. And they can help you escalate cases, give you context, help you understand policies. In rare cases, they can help you and be on the line of defense for suspensions. I've been suspended, and we had account managers, and we fought so hard to, when we were suspended, to use them. That's where they kind of really shined. They can't do everything. They are not the compliance team or the policy enforcement team, but they can speak with them and at least give you a little bit more context. And so a lot of people like to crap on this team. I think, if your business is big enough, you got some things that are mission critical, it's worth paying for this just to have a voice. It's like one of the few options you can deploy. And so that's what this account management program inside of Amazon is. They are starting a new little skunkworks group that's going to focus on resellers. And that should change your perspective, because I started out as a reseller and I work with a lot of them. That's not the only part of Amazon that I serve right now. I work with a lot of brands. I work with people that hate resellers. So there's a bit of a conflict, and I just kind of stay in the middle. I don't really care. I do want everyone to succeed. I spend a few minutes with you. I want your business to succeed. But Amazon resellers have felt kind of under pressure. A lot of suspensions. I get a lot of messages from people that have they get suspended, they get 6 figures of inventory or funds just tied up. And I don't wish that on anyone. It's just about the worst thing. And I don't always have the best advice. I'm not a compliance expert. They're out there. I've had them on this podcast. But I did join up and start a conference called Sellers United. It used to be called AMS United. We rebranded it. So, I work with them, and I think, there's some very large ones, very large resellers. Sometimes they're working authorized with brands. Sometimes they're doing arbitrage, everything in between. But so I actually think this applies to a lot of them. Just the thought that they have an account management program for resellers. And I asked them questions like, what do you guys think about resellers? And the Amazon employee told me, it's we love them. They expand our selection. They lower prices. They help Amazon be competitive. So there's a force inside of Amazon that does embrace them. And I'm like, well, what about all these suspensions, all these things? And that's what this account management team is trying to do, is at least help on that. That if you are, buying goods that are not stolen, and you have invoices or whatever from an authorized distributor, you have another voice in there that can basically say that. There was a post that went viral about someone that says that they used to work for a really large marketplace, that this person just found out that worked there that if they just denied every invoice, they never got punished, they never got sued, they only got high marks because they responded fast. And it was pretty shady to see this confession from this person that worked and just denied invoices. We've all kind of felt like it's not quite clear what to do. And so, it's things like that that just help make sellers feel like they are not being helped, they're not being heard. And so just the fact that this program exists, I think, is exciting. It is a signal that resellers can grow and can succeed and can start out. And of course, brands care more than ever about their online position. So, you want to try and do things above board. There's probably some brands that you can't work with. There's some brands that they welcome this. And everywhere and in between. Some resellers professionalize and they really start to look like agencies. They look like they help these brands actually grow, run advertising, and offer services. So this program was targeted to new resellers, and I did help them find a few. I did a shout out on social media. By the time you're hearing this, it's already kind of long gone, but I thought that was worth bringing up. And so, yeah, it's exciting to just to and refreshing just to hear one thing from Amazon. And yeah, as God is my witness, that conversation happened. I asked those questions. And so it's kind of nice to know that the beast that is Amazon is complicated inside, and there is a viable path for success. So that was cool. Thanks everyone for joining the show. Hope you liked it. That's all I got. Take care.
1, 2, 3.